slap Final Fantasy on it and everyone will love it.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is your intro.
Yeah, I was recording that too.
Perfect.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I got Tyler. He's here again. Tyler Belmont. So today we're talking about video game adaptations of TV shows, movies. Tyler has extensive knowledge on this subject. He actually has a little collection right here that we're going to go over.
Collection of them. My knowledge might be a little rusty, but I'll try my best.
And yeah, and we're going to reminisce, you know, just talk about what we remember from those series, starting with...
Excuse me, Adam. We're going to start with The Legend of Zelda animated series. This was a fantastic show back in the day. I would not recommend it now. It's pretty dated.
When did it come out, by the way?
1989.
1989. Holy
1989.
moly.
Yeah, YouTuber face.
Wait, this will be the This will be the thumbnail.
Yeah, just we need to make a thumbnail for this video.
Oh, we do, yeah. So we'll both just stare at it. We'll both just stare at it and go, excuse me, princess.
Very dated.
Something that does do pretty progressive is Zelda. She's like her own character. She's not just like this generic, like, save me.
Yeah, this was really when that started, when she became someone other than who you're trying to save. So that's cool.
She had like personality, and like she didn't always need to be saved by Link. Like she could like defend herself, and she had her own weapons, and she's got like a boomerang on the back here. So that was pretty interesting.
And her role is just to make Link look stupid.
Yeah, Link's just an idiot in that show. He's like some dumb like surfer or something.
Yeah, he's like a 90s surfer bro. He just happens to wear a fairy tunic. And fight Ganon.
He's always just trying to like get it on with Zelda.
Yeah, that's all he cares about, is getting a kiss from Zelda.
Can I get a kiss? Like, he's such an idiot.
Yeah. And there's like a water slide, a water park that they have at some point, and you're like, "Why? Where'd that come from?"
They had some pretty weird episodes. And Ganon was just like this pig who wasn't he constantly just like constantly snorting?
Yeah, he's just like a demon pig.
It's like the writers didn't know how to like create Ganon, so they just like, oh, he's a pig, so let's just make him like, I'll get you next time. Like, he's a pig. Let's just make him,
So they can make pig noises, and then a demon.
Generic like '80s supervillain.
Yeah. But if your knowledge of Legend of Zelda is more recent, I would suggest you don't watch this, because it might ruin everything you know and love about it. So
you just hate Link after watching this. You'll be like, you'll never want to see him again in any other form. Ever. Actually, another Link that's annoying is the CDI Link. Because have you seen those animations?
Oh yeah,
where he's just like, oh my god, the dongos, and it's like overly animated, and like they're always zooming in on your face and stuff.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
And it's just really creepy.
Weird animations though.
One of my favorites is the King, where he's like, and like zooms in, and Zelda's just kind of
wonder what Ganon's up to.
But yeah, I mean, if you like weird '80s video game,
you have nostalgia for the old ways. Yeah, nostalgia for the old days.
The old days
of Legend of Zelda, when Link was a moron and just lucked into his victories. Then yeah, this is a great one.
It doesn't look like there's that many episodes either, eh?
No,
was it just one season?
This one was cut into Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh,
and it was every once in a while there'd be during the live show, and then they would show this, or they would show the Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
On Saturday mornings for me, wherever you were in the world. I don't know when it aired, but it was.
That's probably why there's not too many episodes.
Yeah, there's not too many.
Where they're only like 5 to 10 minutes long each.
Yeah, 10, 15 minute episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a Saturday morning cartoon vibes.
What a weird show.
And I have Super Mario Brothers Super Show somewhere. I just don't have it with me because I don't know where.
Is that where they're like, swing your arms from side to side?
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario.
That's the one.
Let's go.
Italian stereotype.
Yeah, right.
Saturday morning cartoon.
Right.
Follow up with that, where everybody's a 90s surfer bro. We have Sonic the Hedgehog.
I used to love this show as a kid. Stay. I used to rent this show from the video store quite often, actually.
This one was better. This had a good story.
This show was better than the Nintendo shows.
You still had the Jaleel White, mouthy Sonic, who was
He's kind of an asshole. He's kind of an asshole in
He's
this
kind of a
show.
jerk.
He's just like, chili dogs, and
Thinks he's the best, which, whatever. You had to be, back then, you had to think you were the best to be a main character.
Did he call Eggman? Was he calling Eggman in this, or was it Robotnik?
He was Robotnik.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik, yeah.
And Robotnik was kind of weird in this show too. He's like, "I'll get you next time, Sonic."
That was every show.
Every 80s
every cartoon had the bad guy.
I'll get you
next time.
They're all Skeletors.
voice.
Next time, He-Man.
Stop him, you fools! Silence, you furry fool! I've had it with your whining and bumbling.
Except for Inspector Gadget.
Oh, he was like, "I'll get you next time, Gadget."
Yeah, Claw was awesome.
They're like, we got to change the formula up.
Yeah.
Instead of like,
Gonna take Skeletor and just bring him down a notch.
let's take it down a notch.
This one was good. This had some good stories to it. It wasn't all just silly stuff like Legend of Zelda.
Wasn't Tails wasn't too bad in that show too.
Yeah,
Right?
Tails
He wasn't like annoying in that one.
Yeah,
he was
it was
pretty
good.
good.
But yeah, it's a good adventure show. They do some stupid sitcom-y type episodes, but there's a good overarching story. But the whole chili dogs thing gets a little tired.
With extra
and
chilies.
yeah, it obviously has that 90s feel to it.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready? Tell me what I'm ready for.
Spring the trap!
I knew that.
What is it?
I'm worth way more than that. I'm waiting.
That show was also weird because like I remember all the backgrounds were like super like you're almost on like mushrooms or something. Like everything's so trippy.
Yeah.
Like the colors were so. Oh, is this one the?
Like this.
Yeah, they were like.
Sonic the Hedgehog, too fast for the naked eye. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive.
It was a good show. I liked it.
That was a good one. That's worth checking out if you like Sonic. Because I don't think he's changed too much over the years.
He's still pretty like he's still
I
an
haven't,
asshole.
I haven't paid attention to Sonic since Sonic Spinball on Sega Genesis.
You mean you didn't play the Dreamcast Sonic Adventure?
I did not play Sonic Adventure, thankfully.
Yeah.
So up next we have Captain N, the Game Master.
I actually haven't seen too much of this show.
What?
Yeah.
When you
I
borrow
mean, I
it.
watched a little bit. I have to borrow it.
Yeah. It's worth a lot of money apparently.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it's like quite a bit of money to get this now.
So explain what Who Captain N is. Like, what is the premise?
So Captain N is every young boy in the 80s and 90s dream come true. He's sucked into a video game one day.
Kevin, I thought I told you to clean up your room. Whoa!
Captain N, the Game Master.
To save the world. It's got different characters from different games.
Is that Simon Belmont? This guy
It is.
Oh my god!
You have
Look at
ridiculous
that chin.
Simon Belmont.
Look at that
as
chin.
One of the most obnoxious characters in cartoon history.
Jeez.
Pitt from Kid Icarus.
Oh, Pitt's in
Captain N. Princess. You have the princess.
Yeah, the princess.
I can't remember her name. You have Mega Man.
That's Mega
That's
Man.
Mega Man.
Oh, he looks awful. You gotta zoom that in. That's Mega Man. That's
Mega
terrible.
High.
He looks creepy.
And then Kevin's dog. That's a good show because it was just like for when you were a kid, you'd see your favorite characters like Bayou Billy shows up in it, and the main villain is Mother Brain from Metroid,
Oh, that's sick.
who has King Hippo and the Eggplant Wizard as her minions, and then they bring on different characters, and some of the animation is a little crazy, like the whole background will cut out and all it is just the character on the blank white screen.
Because they just like messed up the.
Yeah, the animation was just screwed up. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was a good show if you like those nostalgic hits of like, I know that game, I know that game, I know that game. Like Like when Bayou Billy showed up, I was like, awesome! And then an alligator shows up on screen, but there's no background and it's just white and there's just an alligator in the middle of the screen. And I was like, God. I'm a kid, I don't care, this is awesome. Bayou Billy's on screen.
Sounds like they didn't even like proof watch like some of the episodes.
It was cheap, but it was fantastic.
And that's Captain N.
Captain N. We moved on a little later in the video game world of cartoons, and one that I really loved, a series I really loved, was Professor Layton.
And that was on the Nintendo DS.
It was on DS. So, Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva was a great movie if you like the Professor Layton, that whole mythos. It's fantastic. It's a series worth getting into if you haven't been. It's all puzzle games if you don't know. It's puzzle games with a story, brain teasers and all kinds of different puzzles. Lots of fun, kind of relaxing, but also get your brain going.
Mm-hmm. I played the DS, like I think I played the first 3 on the DS. I didn't beat them, but some of the puzzles were like crazy hard.
Yeah,
you had to use those like coins or something to help you on certain puzzles.
Yeah, you get your assistance through those.
Yeah,
gives you little hints.
This is an anime then of the game. Is it based on a specific DS game, or is it just like the whole?
It's just its own story.
Its own story.
Yeah, so it's got its own character, its own story. I mean, there's a lot of the recurring characters, obviously, but the story is like its own contained story.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went back later and played, because when it moved to the 3DS, that's when I kind of dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
I played all the DS ones and beat them, and they were great. This movie I watched, and it was awesome because I had just come out of playing a whole bunch of them, and this was just a nice cherry on top of that to watch. So it's really good.
Yeah, I'd want to watch that.
Professor Layton, like, it's worth your time.
Yeah, totally.
And moving up a little bit sooner, you've probably heard of this one. I only brought one with me, but I have all 4 seasons. Castlevania from
Excellent
Netflix.
Series.
An amazing series if you haven't actually watched it before. This show is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put into words how good this show is.
It's like the perfect gift to gamers of fans of the series. Yeah. Like, just perfect. It was so good.
This show is amazing. I have all 4 seasons. I just brought one with me because you don't need to see all 4. But this show is so good. It's like Castlevania grew up with us, our generation. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a little more for kids back in the day, even though it was about horror stuff, Dracula and Frankenstein's monster and all that. But it grew up and it got dark, and it ended
Very
here.
dark.
And this is fantastic. So
it's not like Captain or Belmont and Captain N there.
Yeah, it's not the obnoxious Simon Belmont from Captain N. It's Trevor Belmont at his finest. And this whole show, this whole series is absolutely incredible. I don't care what anybody says. Mm-hmm. This is amazing. I am not a Castlevania purist, so I love it.
It's got great voice acting, great story.
The story's just animation. It's so dark.
It's so dark.
That's probably my favorite part, just how dark it is. I don't need like dark, edgy dark, but it's they went to that place where it's like, this is super dark without being edgy. Mm-hmm. And it's like it grew up with us. It became for adults.
Really, really good show. I remember when the trailer first came out on YouTube, I was getting like goosebumps from the trailer and the music and stuff. I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible.
That one scene in season 1. I don't know if you remember that exactly, when they went into the castle in season 1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When that music.
Yeah. That was Bloody Tears or something, right? Oh yeah.
Blood Tears hits. So it was like
right here, hits you right here.
Yeah, I think it was levitating about half an inch off my seat. Just this is amazing.
God, they did such a good job.
Yeah, so that's just some of the throwback to old video games.
And now we're kind of shifting to other movie video game adaptations.
Some more like theatrical release movies that came out that got a little more attention worldwide. So the first one that I really loved is Silent Hill. I never played the game, I will admit. I feel really bad about that. What?
I have to let you borrow.
I never had PlayStation, so I never played Silent Hill as a kid, and then.
Oh, that's interesting. So you never played the game, but you really liked the movie.
Oh, I love the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if it translates to the game, I don't know. I can't tell you. I just know this as a movie, I love.
Yeah, there's bits and pieces that are taken directly from the game. This kind of has its own spin on it.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job
it's great.
On this movie. There's that sequel coming out as well, which is based off the second game. They're the same director as well.
Oh, wow.
Not those crappy, they did what did they do? Like 2 or 1 other Silent Hill movie, and it was very crappy.
Was it? I don't know. I've only seen this one.
Just this one's good. But they have another movie, same director. He's coming out with the second movie, so that's going to be really...
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
The next one, I think these got the most popularity out of everything I have here, was Resident Evil. This was the second movie and the third movie, I want to say. These were awesome. I don't have the first one, but I saw it, obviously.
I saw the first one in theaters, and it's goofy, but not as goofy as the sequels get. More goofy, don't they? Like they get more.
It's dumber as it goes on.
It gets dumber, but the audience knows it's dumb.
Yeah,
and I think that's why they come and see it, because they're just, it's there just to entertain, right?
Yeah, and you just want Resident Evil. Like, it's silly as it is, so why not just play into it? But like this one with Nemesis, spoiler alert, Nemesis is in this, and Nemesis was one of the coolest video game bosses back then. Like when he got announced in Resident Evil 3, I want to say, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Because there was like two big dudes, right? There was the big dude in the second one, and then Mr. X or something. But in the second one too, they had a big guy as well, similar to Nemesis.
Yeah,
but
Nemesis was like, I just remember when Nemesis came out, everybody was talking about how rad he was, and big dude scaring you in the game. Then now he gets to scare you in a movie.
Was he kind of actually freaky in this one?
Really.
He was just this big, like huge.
Yeah,
like,
just a big dude. This one was pretty bad.
This one's like the goofiest of them all, right?
It's pretty silly.
Like she's just flying all over the place and like.
Yeah, she's just in the desert, and it's like, yeah, it's fun, but it's fun. That's what matters. You don't go into a video game adaptation of a silly video game expecting a masterpiece. You go in expecting fun, and that's what we got here. This is fun, and nothing more.
Not something that's gonna like change the way you.
Speaking of fun and nothing more,
Mortal Kombat.
I don't care who you are or what you say about these movies. These are amazing. They're fun. And like I said before, that's all you want from a video game adaptation of a silly IP. And these movies were incredible because you're watching the first one, goes through your whole story. You're like, oh, it's awesome, all the characters I know, and it's violent and
Johnny Cage
and brutal, and Goro's in it, and Goro's awesome. But then you get to this one, the sequel, Annihilation, and every character you can possibly imagine is thrown in for like 5 minutes. They get like 5 minutes of screen time, and you're like, oh, it's Nightwolf, oh, it's Sub-Zero, oh, it's Baraka. Baraka's
they
in
got
it for like
Reptile in there too?
10 seconds or something.
Is Reptile in it too?
Oh yeah,
wow,
they're all in it,
Jesus.
yeah. But they're all in it just like, it's like,
one after the other.
yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It's awesome, and like everybody's in there. Every character you can imagine, they get like 2 minutes and then they're gone. They moved on with the story. So the one funny story I remember about this one was we weren't allowed to see this in theaters because we were too young. So we bought tickets to a different movie, and then we snuck into the theater and watched this one. Take that, movie theater.
It worked. Usually, like the guy will like follow the kid. They'll know that they're trying to sneak in, and they'll try and find you, and they'll and you were able to get
it was at that little theater in Coquitlam down by the mall.
Eagle. Was it Eagle Ridge?
It was the Cineplex, or whatever was the Cineplex before. Oh, the Best Buy was there first.
It was
and
Best
then they
Buy
just demolished it and put up a parking lot.
Yeah,
they paved paradise. But yeah, we snuck into that one and watched it, and
nice.
It was amazing because we were young enough to be like, oh, characters on the screen that I know, and they're in a movie. Oh my god, we didn't care that the story sucked. We didn't care that it was just a retelling of the basic adventure stories. We wanted to see characters fighting each other, and that's all we cared about.
You might have liked Street Fighter then as well.
Oh, I love Street Fighter.
Oh, there you go. I'm surprised you don't have Street Fighter in there too, but
yeah, I don't know where it is. I have it.
Oh, you do have it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
So that would have been here.
It would have been here. My stuff is all over the place right now. I don't know where it is. So then we're going to move on to two more. One that was not so good, and that is Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Unfortunately, it wasn't very good. It was very Hollywood.
Yeah, it was a little too Hollywood for Final Fantasy, and not Final Fantasy enough for Hollywood. So
I saw this in theaters with a buddy of mine. I think it might have been high school, or it might have been middle school actually. But I just remember it being like, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, so when does the Final Fantasy kick in? Like, I know Final Fantasy is like just like a blanket thing where it can be anything, but like it just didn't feel, nothing about it really felt Final Fantasy. Like, it didn't feel like they went in with Final Fantasy in mind. It felt like they made a movie and then just slapped Final Fantasy name on it.
Yeah, so. It felt like a generic sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
right?
like a generic sci-fi animation. Which is fine if you can make it. It would have been a decent movie as just its own IP, generic movie. Maybe it would have been great. But because you set the expectation at Final Fantasy, like, that's big shoes to fill. So you have to write to the level of Final Fantasy, and this just didn't do it.
I almost wonder like how they could have fixed it. Like maybe they shouldn't have called it Final Fantasy. It should have just been a different name, and then maybe not a theater movie, maybe just like a direct to DVD. Because then it probably would have sold better. But the reason it being in the theaters and then bombing, and with the Final Fantasy name, people were probably like, oh, it's just a video game movie or something.
Yeah.
Like people were probably like.
Yeah, and that was the other problem, is you have that stigma of like, oh, it's a video game movie. Especially back then. Video game movies were bad.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was bad.
Yeah.
So it was just for the fans. That's all it was. And so you make a movie that's not good enough for Final Fantasy fans, and you make a video game movie that's not even going to resonate with non-Final Fantasy, non-video game fans.
Exactly.
So it's just a recipe for disaster.
And then there's remember there's the Super Mario movie as well, which was so weird. Do you have that one too?
No.
That one was super weird.
I gotta find that one. It was great.
I
saw that one in theaters. I remember going to see that one.
I might have seen that one in theaters too.
That was great.
The Goombas creep me out.
Yeah, they were weird. And then the last one is actually great.
This one is good. See, like this is what they should have done.
Advent Children. This
Final
is how you
Fantasy
make a
VII.
Final Fantasy movie.
Yeah.
You take the game, you take the characters. Even though it didn't feature the main characters through most of it, it was still a fantastic story that you could remove the Final Fantasy name from, and it still would have been a great movie.
Yeah.
But because you had all the characters eventually show up, it's like a slow burn. Like you get into it, they give you little dashes here and there, and then as it grows, you start to get, if you played the game, you get those hits of new characters that come in, and you're like, oh, it's Cloud, oh, it's
Sid, it's Barrett,
Red 13
Tifa.
shows up for like a minute. And
Yeah.
but I mean, all you're really in it for is Sephiroth. That's all I care about.
that end battle, like with the crazy rock music, with
Yeah.
One Wing Angel, the music, it was just like crazy. They're bouncing back and forth on like falling building debris
Yeah.
and like fighting
Exactly.
in the air. It
It's
was just insane.
Animated so well. And it's slow burn, but once it gets going, oh my god, this movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
if you love Final Fantasy VII.
That's how you do it. Yeah, this is how you cater to your audience, and then you know make a movie that's for them.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The fans. So
And because it's funny, because that's my experience with this, is I watched this before I played Final Fantasy VII.
oh yeah,
Maybe it's a sin, I don't know. But Sandy showed me this movie, and I hadn't played Final Fantasy VII at all, so I didn't know anything about it other than what I'd seen through media and stuff. And then I watched this, and I was like, that was cool. Like, because I appreciate animation, right? Like, I'm like a fan of animation and styles. So watching this and that last fight scene, like you're talking about, I was like, that was rad. And then like a year later, I played Final Fantasy VII in depth, like played it nonstop for like all the way through the game. I went and did a bunch of extra stuff that you could do. Didn't obviously go through and like beat Emerald Weapon and all that, because
those ones. I actually had to use Game Shark to beat those guys. They were too hard.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. But then I watched it after, and my appreciation for it went from like here to here. Like,
Then you saw all the lore and like
I understood what all those scenes meant when the characters started showing up, like who they were and what they were doing, and like why they're coming to help and all that. So
yeah, that must have felt really good.
for all you Final Fantasy VII players while playing the new remakes,
Come back and watch
back,
this.
give this a watch.
Yeah. Oh, did you play the remake or any of those? Like
No, I have the first part of the remake, but I don't know.
probably doesn't feel the same. Eh?
I have this on NES, so that's what I play.
I still got to play that. I played a little bit of it.
The
It looks
8-bit
pretty cool.
remake of Final Fantasy VII, so
Yeah.
gonna have to play that at some point.
All right, guys, that is today's video. We just wanted to, kind of reminisce on some older TV shows and
Things you might
movies.
not have known were there, and now you can go give a watch. They're probably on YouTube somewhere, because I can't imagine these are still selling anywhere.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe you have to download it or torrent it or something like that.
So, if anything looked interesting, let us know down below which ones you thought sounded interesting that you're gonna go watch.
And if you guys want to see something on the show, let us know. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler has it, so
I might.
let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye.